So look at this Sunday morning. Back in the 80s, I used to get up on Sunday morning and hope that some TV channel would actually be showing cartoons. Um, because Saturday morning always had cartoons. Sunday morning, it was all religious programming on the television. And, occasionally there would be something out of like the bigger neighboring town out of Chicago. We'd get like a fuzzy sort of pseudo thing. I used to watch this thing. I didn't realize until later it was like Jewish edutainment programming that had cool songs to it. But Sunday morning was always disappointment. So anyway, but we are here for a not disappointing few sessions of Tales from the Loop. This comes from Free League Publishing in Sweden, translated, done, and released by Modifius. And it is a game about an alternate 1980s. It is a game about kids in an alternate 1980s. And I'm going to talk about the setting in a little bit more detail in just a second. But I want to tell you, if you're watching this, this is part of the Gauntlet Hangouts. That's an online gaming community that does a lot of games. We had like 100 plus games this month alone. Of different kinds of games. And you can check that out at gauntlet-rpg.com. One of our players, Patrick, has put on a Monster Hearts game that uses the Wicked and the Divine as a concept and is getting rave reviews on Slack. So we've got all kinds of really cool stuff. So if you're interested in what's going on with us, check us out at gauntlet-rpg.com. If you like actual play videos, why don't you click the subscribe button? I'm supposed to tell you that. Maybe I'm supposed to tell you that at the end. I don't know the procedures for this, but I've got a lot of videos. Just this week, we had Worldwide Wrestling, and we have Band of Blades, and we have this session. So if you subscribe, you can check out and see what's coming on the channel. It changes up all the time. So we are playing Tales from the Loop, and of course the phone is going to ring. So I'm going to mute myself for just a moment here.
Call from Walgreens Drug.
Delightful. My prescription's ready. Anyway, so
good.
Tales from the Loop. Our Tales from the Loop is going to take place in 1987. So we're in that late 80s period. It takes place in the Midwestern United States. This is the area that I know. So we're in a place called Wayward, Ohio. On the Roll20, I do have a map up of that. So let me talk about this. You are playing a group of kids, probably from different households, but you're all friends. You all have some connections together. We're going to talk about why you're friends. You have a clubhouse, and I'm using the air quotes for that because it can be a bunch of different things for that. Now, this is in 1980s where this hometown, it's filled with strange and fantastic things. Rather than Cats, I'm going to kind of go through the principles of Tales from the Loop here. Cats is normally our concept, approach, tone, and subject matter. The principles are going to kind of go through. They're set in the book. They're the general ideas that we're playing with. So this is a setting where a massive particle collider is being built. In the other versions of this, it's already completed, but in our setting, it's being built. It's a world that has some high tech, like magnetrine floating transport vessels and robots and things like that. But in other cases, it doesn't have sophisticated things, like the cell phones are still this big. They're massive. They're big bricks you have to carry around. We don't have the kind of access to the internet that we do in the modern day. So it's kind of a weird mix of things. This is a place, like in Stranger Things, where weirdness occurs and kind of washes out into the world. Science, strangeness, psychics, all of that kind of stuff is what the kids are going to be encountering. The kids are going to discover these strange things through the lens of being kids. and they're going to find mysteries, and they're going to deal with those mysteries. The counterpoint to that is that everyday life is dull and it's unforgiving, and you have all of those things that you have to do as kids, all of the errands and chores and schoolwork and homework and things being broken down and not having enough allowance and all of that kind of stuff. So that is the counterpoint to that. Related, in this game, the premise, the dramatic premise is that adults, they're out of touch. They are out of touch. They're not particularly helpful. If you go to talk to them about a real mystery problem, your family and stuff, they're probably not going to take you seriously, or things aren't going to go as you wish. They're not going to believe you. Adults have their own arguments. They have their own issues. They have their own dramas. And so remember that those adults are kind of a thing that's a little bit off the table. Now, that means that we've got a world that is a little bit dangerous, but in this setting, in this premise, in this game, kids cannot die. That's off the table. That is a line, a hard line for this. You can be hurt, you can be locked up, you can be mocked, you can be robbed, you can be brokenhearted, but you're not going to die. That is all off the table. So I just want you to keep that in mind. This is a collaborative game, so we are going to be building up scenes together. The character creation is a long, set of steps that have you deciding things, and then we pull those together. The Tales from the Loop main book and how they structure things is very structured on scenes. I'm taking a little bit of that, but this is maybe a little more free play than the rules, imply. It's hard to tell. But we're gonna play around with that. The other thing I want to mention, of course, all of you have played with me before. You're all familiar with the X card. The X card is on the table, and I want to again stress that because we do have kids, and we do have adult-kid relationships on the table. That if you're uncomfortable, if you're not digging a particular relationship or something that's occurring and stuff, we can redact that, we can edit that, we can change that, we can shift it, because that could pop up as an issue. So with that in mind, and with the map up on Roll20, and Sherry, if you want to pull up your Roll20 thing, because you've got a copy of the map there. Mm-hmm. This is our location. This is our city of Wayward. We see that it's near a lake. We can see that circle that's on the map is where they are building the loop. They have not yet finished it. There are various dig sites and things around town where they are constructing things. There are little towns outside, but Wayward itself is the major town with subdivisions and essentially suburbs outside of it. There's a mall, all of that kind of thing. We'll be talking about that and figuring out what comes from it. So that's a lot of talking. Holy cow, what am I doing? So what we're going to do is we've got a bunch of different archetypes that players can come up with. And we're going to work through the playbooks that we've got in that folder. Does anyone, having taken a look at those beforehand or just now, have a archetype that you like, this is the one I want to do? Anyone have a strong feeling? Okay, I heard nothing, so I'm going to turn to Patrick. Patrick, which of these playbooks do you think you want to do? Or do you have any questions about the playbooks?
I don't think I do. There aren't any like moves or stunts or anything, are there?
Nope. The only thing you have are your stats, skills, and then luck points.
And then all the establishing material. Oh, that was my other question. Do luck points refresh? How often?
Yes, luck points refresh at the start of every session.
Okay.
So they are a valuable commodity.
Because I was trying to judge the value of the age trade-off.
Yeah, that's actually a big debate. Stat points are huge. They as you know, in this system, that's a die for a lot of different rolls. But having a luck point that you can freely spend to do a reroll can also be huge.
I have a question about this luck point. Do you
Mhm.
reroll, like, let's assume that, I don't know, maybe you need two successes, but you rolled one and you're spending a luck point. Do you like keep this one and just reroll the other dice? Or do you
Absolutely.
reroll
Yeah,
all
it's
sacrificing?
really good. You keep your successes and reroll any dice that didn't roll successes.
So the same will so the same like with pushing, but with pushing
Yeah.
you have to take a condition, yes?
Yeah. So it means you avoid that condition.
Okay.
Okay.
The other thing, of course, and I want to stress this just so you know, in this game, one success is all you usually need. The only reason you want those extra successes is to spend them to get additional benefits, to get additional things. You most often one success is enough. It's a little bit different from Coriolis. It's closer to Mutant Year Zero in that. Maybe we might hit a situation that is difficult or that requires kind of a long-term project, like maybe over a couple of rounds you have to build up successes, but generally it's one success to do it.
Gotcha.
And if I can ask,
Sure.
so how does the game handle fail? If we rolled, we failed, and we decided that not to reroll, like does it go like mouse guard route that you take a condition but you succeed, or I don't know, no you don't do it, or some complication happened? Like how does this handle failed rolls?
So failed rolls are very much like a failed roll in PBTA. Something always happens when you roll. If you go to a roll and you fail, I'm going to have something happen. I'm going to change the situation. There's going to be something that occurs. Not necessarily condition, but the stakes are going to change or the position's going to change because of that.
Cool, perfect.
So with that in mind, Patrick.
I like the bookworm.
Okay. Like the bookworm. Bookworm's a good one. Pavel, do you have a particular one that sings for you?
Yeah, I was like really struggling a lot because some archetypes I really can't do because I was not this type of kid. And plus, mind you, that my school was very different than your school, and I have no idea about American schools and problems.
Absolutely.
I was always a bookworm / weirdo something around this one. I never had a problem with bullying because I went into a cool school. So I'm just really confused. Do I want to make myself or do I want to play something which is very weird? Which is, I mean, not myself. So I'm debating between weirdo and a jock because I think I will go with jock. I will try not to play myself. So
okay,
yeah, I will go with the jock.
Jock's a good one. It has some really interesting picks in it about why you're that way. So I like that one. And Sherry, I assume that you wanted a bookworm and Patrick took it, right? Because that's how it always plays when you two play together.
No, that's fine. Don't worry. Let's see here. So essentially, we've got a bookworm who's good at calculate, investigate, and comprehend. So that's the smart one. And the jock is the doer. So force, move, and contact. So he knows people and he's social. So what we need is, let's see here. And there's lots of things. I was kind of thinking of the troublemaker.
That's an interesting one.
But I could do the weirdo and for the same thing. I think I'll do the weirdo. I'll do the weirdo version of my character.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So you can go ahead and work through the things on that sort of playbook that I put together for you in that file. Your iconic item, you can use it for a die roll when appropriate, and it gives you 2 extra dice on the roll. You can go ahead and go everything up to pride and finish out pride, and then we will talk about relationships and anchors and things like that. So if you want to go ahead and do that, I want to talk a little bit about what the skills mean, though.
I had a quick question.
Absolutely.
Attributes where you distribute points equal to your age, do they start at 0 or do they start at 1 for free?
No, you have they start at 0. So if you have to have a minimum of 1 in each.
Cool, thank you.
So most of the skills are fairly self-explanatory. Fairly, a few of them are kind of odd. So I want to talk about a few of those. We have 3 sort of tech, like building, jury rig kind of skills. We've got tinker, program, and calculate. Those tinker is about building machines and manipulating machines, like toasters and that kind of thing. Programming is for creating and manipulating computer programs or any kind of sophisticated electronic device. It is like tinker, but it's about anything that's like smarter than a toaster. And then calculate is kind of the overall knowledge of tech and so on. It's the one for finding out information about tech kinds of things. Now, one of the things in the rules and the skills, when you look at the book, they do have very set questions for some of the information gathering skills. I'm flexible on that. If you don't find a question that fits what you need to know, we can negotiate around that. The 3 social skills are contact, charm, and lead. Contact is about finding the right person that you need for something. You say, hey, I want to find this kind of person, and we make the roll, and we see, whether you know them, whether they'll work with you or not.
A question to this contact, because
sure,
I'm like confused, like how actually useful are anyone else in the setting, and how much it is concentrated on us, because there is no point in contacting adults because they won't help, and our and people and other kids. I'm not sure. I'm
right.
just.
No, I think that's a great question. I would say contact is usually used for getting stuff, like, okay, we need this bicycle, or we need these things, or we need access to get into a particular building or something like that, or talking to an adult but not kind of telling them what it is, not telling about the mystery. Like, let's say you go to talk to the librarian or a teacher who might know about a thing. That's what contact can be used for, is finding somebody, and you might talk, sort of not tell them exactly what's going on, but ask them for a little help on that. So that's where that comes in.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Charm is essentially our big social skill for befriending people, convincing them, persuading them, all of that. And then lead is an interesting skill. It is used to help your friends. You can use lead to heal conditions. You can also use lead to aid other characters, to tell them what to do and to give them extra successes. So it's a pretty useful skill. I think those are the skills that have the most sort of questions about what they might mean. Anything else? Anybody else, like, okay, what does this mean?
Looking at the Roll20 character sheets, your iconic item, does it just generally add to 1 attributes rolls?
Yeah. So you choose now. That is one of those. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. No, I apologize. What it actually does is, let me check and see how we roll this. I want to do one thing here and see if it does that. And then, yeah, I think. Oh, so here's what it does: is if you drop down, Patrick,
Hmm.
and you see the skills that are listed there, if you click the button that's beside that, it will then roll that skill plus attribute plus the 2 extra dice. It's how you do that. It can be used for anything, but that drop
Oh,
downs allow you to set which roll you're actually using it with at that moment.
I got you. So it's a moment by moment choice rather than like it's
Yeah.
locked on this. I got
There's a
you.
really good catch. Thank you.
Cool.
Okay, Lowell, so it says we're distributing points equal to age to the 4 attributes. Do we assume that the attributes start at 0? And we
Yes.
should end up with, okay, because of course they start at 1. So
Right. That Patrick just asked that.
I didn't listen because I was
Okay.
because I was reading. All right.
It went in your queue. I know that.
I would have liked you. I would have gotten to it eventually. Let's see here.
Is there any flaw to min-maxing in this game?
Not that I've seen. I mean, the 1 to 5. I mean, you could put 5 in an attribute and lean into that. Of course, you may get in situations. It may put you in situations where that's a bad choice. But I haven't seen any real problem with that. Don't forget with the skills, you can only put 3 points in your key skills, up to 3. Everything else is just 1 point. I will go ahead and archive the other character sheets. Get them out of the way.
How actually helpful needs to be the iconic item to actually provide help?
As long as you were able to tell me how it reasonably fits within the fiction of it, you can use it. It's not one of those things where, I have a hold of this and it's giving me heart, so I get the extra dice. It needs to at least be useful in some way in the situation.
For example, I'm just like wondering because like
Sure.
BMX bike, yeah, it's very concrete.
Mhm.
But in the middle of mystery, except for riding my bike, it will never be of any help if you are pursuing or escaping from something. But if I
Yeah.
like take like I don't know my baseball cap where I have like a signature of some famous player who was witnessing our win the other day, it will be like more like a in some occasions just like a I don't know a mental support or maybe a part of being recognized as oh you are this guy who did the home run like last season, but it's more
Yeah.
like mental support. I'm not sure. Does it make
I,
sense in the
I
game?
think either one of those approaches would make sense. I mean, I could see where, let's say, you're on your iconic bike and a bully is threatening you. I could see where you could make a case for getting bonus dice there. I'm pretty liberal about that. But yeah, certainly some of the items look like they'd be more useful than others. Some of them like it'd be more problematic than others. Like I think the troublemaker has like a weapon that they have that is not a great choice in all situations.
Yeah, baseball bat is a suggestion for the joke. So, but
Well,
actually, I don't
but
plan
baseball
on
bat, no one's gonna. If you're a jock, no one's gonna look at you oddly if you're carrying around a bat. Usually,
yeah, I'm just not sure if I want to be that brutal because
hmm
yeah,
I had a quick question.
yes.
Is there anything mechanical attached to your favorite song, or is it just like a cool character bit
It is a cool character bit.
into it?
Yeah, it is your soundtrack. Now, again, Pavel, that is 1980s American pop on the list of songs that I put there. So I apologize for that.
I know some of them, but my song will definitely not fit character by any means.
I mean, to be fair, I only know some of them. Um,
I lived it. There you go. Well, and it's interesting too because Sherry is slightly older than me. So she had a whole different picture of the music from that period than I do because she was with cool kids and like was into more interesting music from Europe and stuff than I was. So
well, Tyler was looking through the list last night as I was looking through things, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I know that one, and that one, and that one." I was like, I know this one."
So I'm also thinking like, what's the what kind of troubles do you want to be touching in this game? Because I've seen like, for example, weirdo can be, I don't know, because weirdo can have like options like someone's in love with me or I'm not heterosexual. What kind of problems are we aiming to touch in this game? Because I'm just like thinking, do you want to touch like do we just want to do it like an adventure or do you want to have some personal problems like because I'm thinking about my problem and I can
right.
either choose like my brother refuses to go to go out of his room after the accident, so maybe I like convinced him to do something slightly dangerous and he got injured and we are going to have like this like brother to brother their problems and how much is it just like adventure being out there and just solving mysteries.
That's a really good question. I would say that this game, more so than a number of others, actually, we move back and forth between home scenes, personal scenes, and adventure scenes.
Mhm.
And of course, if you put stuff on the table from the problems, I'll try and reincorporate them and reference them. But we do go back home. We do go back to because you're a kid, you have obligations and things like that. So we will be flipping back to those things, and you'll have an opportunity to draw the drama out for those. I will definitely have that on the table for you.
Cool. Mm.
I seem to have an endless series of one last questions.
Okay.
The conditions, is there any mechanical difference between them, or are they fictional differences?
It is purely fictional differences.
Okay.
The only one that's different is broken. Broken is really bad. That means if you've already marked a particular condition, and I say you have to mark that one again because of the fiction, then you're broken.
Oh, gotcha. And that's the one where you just fail all rolls?
Yep.
I thought that we are broken where we have all conditions marked, but that doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You're right. If all four mild conditions are marked and you take another one, it's broken. So yeah, it is. It is that, and I think it is that you get to choose to describe which condition you mark when you have to mark a condition.
Gotcha. Cool. Thank you.
Okay, I love Patrick your choice of song, and I really want to hear about your character now because of that. That's the thing.
I was looking through that list. I was like, it's this one. It's this song. I love this song.
Oh yeah.
Then we went on a Prince watching spree last night.
I remember being a super white kid in the gosh, that would have been like 84, 85 when Purple Rain came out, and loving it so much, and going and seeing it in the theater, and feeling as white as I ever could. But it was huge when I was in middle school. Like that album was amazing.
Well, I'm looking through the bookworm, and like one of the drives, the one I went with was I want to find answers to the big questions in life. This sort of like self-reflective existential kid here in middle school, and combined with the kiss, like I think he's maybe drawing from my own life a lot. I think he's not entirely straight, or will
Right.
end up that way, but is nowhere near like where the weirdo is potentially wearing that as a point of pride. Like, I don't think it's even on his real conscious radar of something that he realizes about himself. And I don't think it's something he's entirely comfortable with. Like, he's very uncertain and searching. But I think Kiss really speaks to something like that.
You're swooping us all the way into talking about our characters, so I'm going to make you go first.
You said you wanted to know why, so I
I
told you
do.
why.
No, I'm exactly that. You gave me a wedge issue here. So tell us about your character, your bookworm, Patrick.
So his name is Joshua Johnson. He really wishes that his nickname with everyone was JJ. I don't think that's as widely true around school as he would hope.
Okay.
But he's really trying to push it. Like he's trying to institute a new name shift here. He's 12, so a little on the younger side. So stats, I went with body and heart at 2, but tech and mind at 4.
Okay.
And then I have the 3 luck points. I am really good at calculate because I couldn't be as good at tinker as I wanted to be. It's that 1 point skill thing limitation.
Right.
I had to shift around there, but also pretty good at comprehend. But yeah, got a general layout on some tech skills, sciencey skills, mind-based stuff, and he's a little bit sneaky slash bland and unnoticeable at times, and he's a little bit like charming.
What does he look like?
I'm real bad with kids, so I don't have an appropriate height range, but
Right.
middle height for how old we are.
Okay.
I think he's got like curly brown hair that's sort of mane like, just goes crazy.
Caucasian?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think just like a ridiculously large backpack. Like,
Okay.
even if he were like full grown late high schooler, this would still be a large backpack for him, but it's enormous on him right now.
So do you think it's like one of those, classic, school backpacks, or is this like maybe something he's got handed down to him, or is it like an army surplus backpack or something like that?
I like an army surplus one. Maybe it was like visiting a relative, like an uncle or something, and playing around in the closets while the adults were being boring, and like I really liked it, got attached to it, and the uncle was like, "Oh, that's a good gift. Just have this. It's my old service duffel or whatever."
Okay. Yeah. I like that. That has a lot of character to it. So let's go ahead and let's walk through some of the other picks. What is your iconic item?
My iconic item is my dog named Tiny, golden retriever. She was much smaller when she got the name. She's much larger now, but I still think between the name and the golden retrieverness, i.e. fluffy, smiling, tongue out, sort of happy all the time, like she's not as threatening as a big dog would be, should be, sort of thing.
Right.
That tail gives away everything.
Yeah. And of course, golden retrievers have basically nothing in their head. They are among the most airheaded of dogs, but fair enough.
But super sweet.
What is your problem? What is the thing that is kind of haunting you right now as a kid?
So the problem that I went with is that weird man is following me. It just seemed interesting, and it seemed more like actiony and now than no one will tell me why my father died, which was the other one I was thinking about.
So give me the story. What is this a recent thing with this weird man following you? It is a thing that's happened a lot. What have you seen?
I think it's a recent thing, but it's very overlaid with that like deja vu feeling. Like, is this a dream I've had before, or is this something I'm not remembering properly from a long time ago, sort of thing? Like, there's something about the way I see him, or the way that he looks, that's very familiar, but I've only seen him a couple times over the past couple weeks.
Okay, so very much kind of a surreal feeling rather than a concrete creepy drifter kind of thing. Okay, all right.
Yeah, I like the idea that he's basically normal looking, but it's just I keep noticing him at the edge of my vision. Like when I'm doing X, I'll just turn and be like, "Wait, is that him again?" sort of thing.
And what's your drive? What pushes you?
I sort of touched on it before, but I want to find answers to the big questions in life. Like he's really searching for an identity. He just like doesn't know that yet, or know how to quantify that. So he's fascinated by any sort of unanswerable deeper questions to life, because if there are important and fundamental aspects to human nature and life out there that are still open and debated and people can't understand, like, it sort of makes him feel better that his whole personality and sense of self is changing and not stable.
And your pride?
My pride is that nothing scares me.
Ooh, interesting.
Obviously, like, on the outside, it's something. It's a face he likes to show to the world, not necessarily the fact that he's like emotionally dead inside or whatever.
Right. No, and once per session, once per mystery, you can activate your pride to give you an automatic success, like you call on that. Now, how you're bookworm, so a particular kind of non-computery geek. But what kind of bookworm is it? Is it that you're a reader? Is it that you're a gamer? Is it what is your bookwormedness?
I think it's definitely reader.
Okay.
It'd be like fantasy and sci-fi mostly, but I think it's like pulling from his parents' library. So the fantasy is a lot of the like height of the 50s and 60s sort of fantasy sci-fi explosion.
Okay.
And just some sort of dabbling into newer stuff, current stuff.
Okay. Not a comic book geek, but more of a reader geek. Let me ask you this then. Obviously, there's a Book World or a Walden Books at the mall. Is there a used bookstore in town, or is there a game shop, fantasy bookstore in town? What do you imagine that?
Oh, there's definitely a used bookstore in town.
Okay.
It's one of those, like, it should have twice the square footage that it does. It's just shelves that are all close to each other and sort of like stacks of books, and not great lighting gets everywhere and lots of dust sort of place.
And what's the name of it?
I think the Stacks.
The Stacks. With 2 X's, right?
Yes.
Yeah, the Stacks. Maybe it started out as a record store, but it's become this used fantasy, science fiction, whatever bookstore. Okay. All right, that gives me a strong picture. We're going to come back after I have everybody else introduce themselves. We'll look at the relationship questions and anchor, and figure that out. So, Pavel, is it okay if I come to you next?
Sure.
Let's do that.
So, I'll be playing Washington Star. His nickname is Butch because now I completely don't remember which movie the Butch nickname came from. I think it was 70s or early 80s, so I think it's totally fine. I think he had the pleasure because he's like the school baseball team player. He totally had the chance to like pick his own nickname, and on his baseball team T-shirt he has like a Butch written, like number probably 13 also, and his dad sometimes, because their family name is Star, his dad sometimes tells him after one game, his dad sometimes tells him that oh Butch, you will be such a star, and it's like a family joke because our family name is like Star.
Mm-hmm. So very much a dad joke, very much the kind of dumb adult dad joke there, right?
Yeah. I think I was a little bit afraid about doing about Butch being too dumb, so I decided to for the weird split of attributes: 4 body, 4 tech, 4 mind, 4 heart, 1 mind. So I think he is not the brightest in the classes, but give him something to play with, or like a tech manual, and he can actually get it and do something. And nobody knows it. Nobody. But his room, he's like a whole stack of programming magazines, and sometimes his dad like shows him some basics programming, so he can actually dig this stuff. But because it's so nerdy, it's so dorky, he doesn't tell anyone about it.
Mm-hmm.
Because he has to be the cool kid. He wants to be the captain. He's isn't the captain yet, so that would be too easy. And,
right.
I think he's maybe too young to be the captain, but he shows some leadership potential. So yeah, I picked entire heart, all skills for heart, and then I dropped 1 into calculate and program.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I was afraid about being too dumb mountain of muscles. So I wanted to avoid this one. What else? Butch iconic item is his BMX bike, because when he's not playing and he's not in the school, he's on this skate parks and he jumps left and right on his BMX bike. He's really good at it, and he's really happy. Although it's not so popular as playing a baseball, so he's doing this because his dad wants him to be the family star, so he does the baseball, and it's fun.
Mm-hmm. And BMX bikes around this time they're actually fairly new as a thing that kids have, and they're still really cool. Because most kids have like 10 speeds or real basic bicycles. BMX bike, it can go off road. Woo! So that is cool. What does he look like?
I totally imagine him as being white, short hair, short hairs, probably like blonde. Nothing really special about it. Maybe some. Oh yeah, let's give him a little scar somewhere around the eyebrow from the accident on the bike, or maybe he was hit with the bat. Someone like took too much of a swing. So he has like maybe like a little bit problem with the eyebrow, like broken, and a scar over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think he's like average height and build for his age.
But we can tell that he's going to be big. That he's going to be a tall, athletic-looking kid when he gets his growth spurt.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So tell us about your pride.
My pride is no one calls me a chicken. So like when a school bully wants to aggravate me and they call me a chicken, they will get what's coming for them. So one way or another. So it's very easy to agitate him.
And your problem?
Yeah, my problem is that my brother Rick refuses to leave his room since the accident. So I think maybe, I think my brother can be like younger than me.
Okay.
And I was really like pushing him to the limits on his bike. Maybe he doesn't yet have the BMX bike. Maybe I got it for the like last year. Maybe we like won the tournament between some schools, and the kids got the various prizes. I got the BMX, and I was like really pushing him on the skate park, and he like fell off and maybe like broke his arm or something, and that's a problematic articulation for Washington, because he feels guilty after the fact. He realized, oh, maybe I shouldn't have pushed him so hard, and he wants to make up for this to his brother.
So you have a sense that Rick maybe blames you for this, or is just?
Oh yeah, definitely, because I was like really calling him, come on Rick, don't be a chicken, go, you can do it. So.
And I like the idea that this happened right now. It's sort of getting towards the end of summer. In America, we have the long summer break, so we're just a few weeks out from the school year starting. I like the idea that this happened like just at the start of summer. So he broke his arm. He had it in a big cast, so his summer was ruined.
Yeah.
Okay.
Especially when it's super hot and you have like this entire like.
Oh yeah.
Itchy.
Oh yeah.
Can't go to the pool. Can't go to the
Right.
pool. Remember how
Can't
important
get
that was?
wet.
Yeah.
Can't go to camp. Couldn't go to camp. Summer camp or anything like that. What do your parents think about? I mean, do they blame you for it, or they just, oh, it's just an accident, that kind of thing? How do they feel about it?
I feel for them it was maybe like an accident. I think my dad is like really out of touch. Maybe my mom like really told me that I should like. Oh, probably I had like a long talk with my mom that, you're the older brother, you should like watch after Rick and be careful about him and not push him too hard. So probably my mom just sometimes like look at me that I should watch after my brother. My dad is probably like out.
Kids will be kids. It happens.
Yeah,
Tough it up.
Yeah, he has to be a star as well. So
yeah,
if the older one will be the baseball star, the younger one has to be like the bike jumping star. So go, yeah, do it.
And what is your drive?
My drive is the right thing to do. So I
Ooh.
think that Butch has the like really strong moral sense that he has like he might sometimes lie, but most of the time he will like tell the truth and not run away from the troubles. Or at least we will see how this will how this one will go.
Sure, absolutely. And Ghostbusters as your favorite song?
Yeah, this movie could be 2 years ago, and then this song
yeah.
like makes me like move on the the TV whenever the song plays. So
Ghostbusters has probably just come out on a VHS tape. You probably have a copy of that. And this would have been at the time when movies stayed in the theaters for weeks and weeks and weeks. So you might have gone to see it multiple times, not like I did multiple times in the theater.
Yeah, I think Bush probably have seen it 10 times, but my brother Rick like hates it because I like it. And
absolutely.
I get to like go there, and I probably went with him, but he like left the sink or something.
I like it. All right. We're going to come back to you on the relationship and anchor questions, which brings us to our weirdo.
Yes.
Sherry, tell us about your character.
Her name is Lisa Diamante. Unfortunately, her nickname is Sleesa instead of Lisa. She's 13 years old. She had the unfortunate thing of maturing early and with a notably, I suppose. And there is no sweatshirt big enough to hide that. But damn it, she's still going to try.
Okay.
And essentially, she hit middle school, and the first thing she gets is, girls calling her sluts and guys acting weird around her. And she is just frenetic because she does not know what she's supposed to be doing or how she can overcome that. She's the youngest of a set of like 6 older brothers.
Oh, wow.
Her family owns a garage. So it's a weird family because, of course, they have a tow truck and stuff. So they get calls at all hours of the night. And her dad is always getting up and driving out to go get someone's car. And they bring back cars from accidents and stuff. So she grew around, gruesome wrecks and grew up around gruesome wrecks and all that stuff. Because like when she was a little kid, I mean, sometimes her dad would load her up in the tow truck if there was no one to watch, and that kind of stuff. So she saw all kinds of things, and that was, but also she's always been around the garage. So all of her brothers are good mechanics, and she's expected to, be able to hold the right tool and pass that along. And she actually, she's not bad. She's not as good as her brothers, but she's not bad at it. So she can do a little bit of that stuff too. And she has access to all of those tools and knows a ton about cars. But what she really knows is about how people act. She just hasn't acknowledged that yet, that that's her strength. So she is a person who goes through people's glove boxes to look and see where things are in there. She's always like, she would always go through things and look into people's lives and ask people questions when they were at the garage and stuff like that. So she's super curious about people, and she watches and she sneaks around. And so she's at this really weird thing where her life just turned around all of a sudden.
A little like the kid's novel Harriet the Spy. Exactly.
And in fact, I think she probably read that, and that was like her kindred soul at that point. So so she always was going through things, always and like seeing a lot. It wasn't like she had a sort of she's not naive in the way of how bad things can go, because she's seen a lot of blood and she's seen a lot of like terrible accident stuff. But in some ways, because she's seen it since she's so young, it's just normal to her. Bad things can happen.
And so your sort of weirdo weirdness is this kind of watching other people and going through people's stuff and that kind of thing. Okay.
And being maybe a little bit like, she is really good at empathizing. So she kind of says the thing that, even though no one has said something, like exactly what they're thinking about. Like she'll be, it's okay, no one's noticed. You know, she'll say that to someone when
like in a few years, you're going to be the spooky girl.
Exactly, but she's not quite there yet. She, again, unformed in that 13-year-old way.
What is your iconic item?
Oh, I have a Swiss Army knife.
Okay. Is it a literal Swiss Army knife or is it a knockoff one?
I wouldn't know.
Okay.
It wasn't gifted to me. It was just a found item.
Okay.
You know, again, so found it a long time ago. Always carries it.
What is your drive?
So my drive is that I'm just as good as the boys are because she has these older brothers. And it's a sort of weird thing is that she always wants to be up and in things. And of course, all of her friends are boys.
All right. And your pride?
I know more about people than they think.
Ooh. And what's your problem?
My problem is that I matured early and there's no sweatshirt big enough for it. That was it.
Where's your mom at?
So my mom is the person who runs the garage day to day on the sense of the finances and taking phone calls and making appointments and stuff. So she's always at the shop or she's taking phone calls.
And did you describe her hair? What is she? I mean, again, picture sweatshirt, matured early, but what does she look like?
Well, she has dark hair, and when she was little, it was like it grew in lovely doll-like ringlets. But as she's gotten older, it just has an annoying frizzy wave to it. So she kind of puts it into this super tight ponytail, hoping that'll like sort of straighten her hair out.
Okay.
So, so she puts it in a ponytail, and then it poofs out behind her.
And are you tall or short or just something in between?
I think she's tall, but she hunches over. I mean, you don't understand just how desperately awful this is. So everything is about, minimizing attention right now.
I like that very much. All right. So what I want to do now is I want to come back around in the same order, and I want to look at the relationships with other kids, NPCs, anchor, because this is one of those things going to tell us about is why you're friends. Because the assumption is that the three of you are kind of a tight-knit group of friends. You know each other. For some reason, you hang out together. And we'll figure out why that is, whether it's that you knew each other from school, or you all live close by one another, or you went to the same grade school together, or whatnot. So Patrick, we're going to swing back to you, our bookworm, and for each of the other kids, you're going to choose a relationship, or you're going to make one up.
So for my Bane names,
Butch?
Lisa.
Okay.
For Lisa, I sort of started at one of mine is she is my competitor, but I sort of spun out from that, and I think what it is that she never takes care of my books right. I think like they've made that connection over. I like that sort of like she could do anything the boys can do sort of thing, and so I think. Josh is always reading different books, and the sort of assumption with the other stupid, dull kids that are around everywhere is just like, oh, you wouldn't get this, so you wouldn't be into it sort of thing. And I think he said that to Lisa like once, and she ripped the book out of his hand and came back a couple days later and just started like breaking down the whole book for him.
Okay.
So I think that's sort of become a thing. Like no one else will read the things he reads, at least not kids. Like adults do, but adults are weird. We can't talk to them, right?
Right.
So none of the other kids will read the things I do, but she will. So I'm willing to let her ruin my books, but like she's really not as careful with them as she should be, and she really doesn't like. She seems to misunderstand or misinterpret all the important like science and warfare and philosophical aspects, and seems to like see these weird emotional and social dynamics and take totally crazy leaps of logic and what the science means. It's all just insane.
I like that. And what's your relationship to Butch then?
So for Butch, I'm gonna go with I will make him love me. Not exactly, because again, I don't think any of it is that self-realized. But I'll make him pay attention to me, like me, want to hang around me, find some connection with him.
Okay, I like that. Are you good with that, Butch?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, just want to check on that. One question I didn't ask you, Patrick. Siblings? Yes or no? If
Yeah,
so,
I think much older half sister, like 10 years older, sort of thing.
ooh, half sister. Ooh,
Mhm.
I like where this is going. What's the deal there?
My father's previous marriage, dude, just like very young couple, young love, got together, accidental child maybe, and just developed over time into screaming animosity and let's live our lives differently. And so I think my parents now, like, they're on the older side
Okay,
for having a kid as young as me at this point.
so your older sister is like 20 something.
Yeah, I think she's like junior year of college.
Okay, where does she work in the mall?
A food stand with a really embarrassing uniform, like a pretzel thing, where she has
Orange Julius.
nice.
She's got to wear a headscarf. It's awful.
It's terrible.
Yep.
Okay. For those of you who do not know, Orange Julius is a horrible, horrible food thing at the mall in the 80s that made the worst hot dogs in the world and these weird, like, orange slushies that were disgusting. It was a place that was always sticky. Patrick, tell me about one of your relationships to an NPC.
I really liked this one on here. Mary, the school librarian, was my friend until she disappeared. I'm sure that the school janitor Jeffrey knows more than he's saying.
Okay.
But I think her disappearing, it was sort of like she just like called in sick. She's just on leave sort of thing to start with. And I think it took him a while to put together, like thinking back on things, investigating the mystery of where she went. That like the day she went, or the first day that she wasn't there at school, was the first day that he remembers noticing that guy like creeping around.
Ooh, I like that. And your anchor is going to be the person that you go to clear conditions, that you go and you do a scene to kind of heal up. Who would that be?
Let's go to heal up. I like local author for that.
Okay, what kind of local author?
Reclusive had a couple of like very young, surprising smash hits. He's going to be the new literary star sort of thing.
Okay.
And then something mysterious happened. He fizzled out and moved to this tiny town.
What's his name?
Graham something.
Okay. Graham Grayson, because
Cool.
we like alliteration. Graham Grayson. Okay. So let's that gives us some stuff to work with. Let's come to Butch. Butch, let's figure out your relationships to the other PCs.
So I think my relation to Lisa is that even though she's young, she seems to know everything. It's very weird. I probably go to her with like my math and physics homework to help me, which probably means I ask her to do it for me because it might be too complicated. Like physics, yeah, I hit the ball flies, but like there's some force pulling it to the ground. What? I just need to hit it harder.
Okay.
So I think she knows everything.
I like that. And what about for Joshua? For JJ?
Yeah, I'm looking at the two suggestions, and I'm not really sure about them.
Or you could come up with something else.
So what kind of movies is JJ into? Are you like the Star Trek / Star Wars type of guy, or not at all?
Yeah, I definitely think his book tastes carry over into movies. So like sci-fi, fantasy. It's something popular and current that he can talk to with like most of the kids at school and not be super nerdy out there.
Yeah. So I wonder how to frame it. I think my relationship to JJ is that. I'll write it a cool brother I don't have, because Rick has been a problem for so many times, and with JJ I can like talk movies. I can actually talk with him about me doing this like weird programming stuff, and he will not tell anyone, because with the guys from the team, I just like can't tell them that Star Trek even exists. They're just like, baseball game and stuff, and so like JJ is like the cool brother I never had.
Yeah,
and I think that's cool. Like, especially maybe given this summer and your actual brother sort of being holed up in his room. Like in the past couple of months, you've actually come to me more. We've hung out more. You paid attention to me more, and like, yeah, I'll do anything you want to do, sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
That is perfect. That is perfect. And what about your relationship to NPC?
So am I to pick one from
just pick one or make up your own.
Is this like I don't know, supposed to be a story seed of what we want to happen in the game, or another suggestion?
Yeah, I will attempt to reincorporate these things.
Yeah, this one might be interesting, especially since on the map there are these two crazy towers, something on the lake.
Mm-hmm.
So that new police officer, Karen Richards, has rented a boat to investigate something in the lake, but she hasn't told anyone what it is.
Okay.
So maybe I have like seen her like heading off. Maybe the skate park is actually somewhere close to the like where do you take the boat from the city to the lake. So I've seen her like driving, getting into going out on the lake and then coming back, but I have never seen anything in the news. Maybe I asked her a couple of times, and she didn't tell what she has found. So I'm just like curious about this.
All right, I like that one. That works for me. And who is your anchor?
I think it would be cool if it would be Coach Bill.
Coach Bill. Okay, Coach Bill.
Yeah. After all, yeah, exactly.
Is he a serious baseball coach, or is this little league thing kind of I just do it, on the weekends? Or is he pretty serious about it? You got to get in there, got to swing that bat.
I think he's serious, since I established before that maybe we won some school tournament in the state, and that's why we had this reward. So yeah, I think he is really serious.
Perfect. Perfect. All right. Let me come back to Lisa. Lisa, I forgot a particular detail that I want you to tell me. Tell me about your favorite song and why that is your favorite song.
I love Sledgehammer. I love Sledgehammer, and I'm so glad it's on the radio constantly this summer. It's the best thing. They play it like every 4 songs. I don't know why I like it. It's got all kinds of sounds that are awesome and like awkward. And I think it's a love song, but it doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know, but I love how it sounds. There you go.
That is great. I love that you don't get what the song's about. That is awesome.
So
it's about Peter Gabriel's penis.
What?
For those of you at home. Anyway, so tell us about your relationship to other kids.
Okay, so I think with JJ, I think that JJ's the smartest kid I know. But I can be as smart as he is.
Okay. Is that kind of why maybe you've taken up the reading of the books?
Yes. Again, I can do anything the boys can do.
Okay. And what about for Butch?
I think it's Butch. Butch is the best because he loves what he loves. And so it's like I'll do anything to help Butch.
So a lot of other kids are on the, well, that's terrible, where they're just negative about stuff, but Butch honestly loves. Okay.
I find that really, I admire that a lot. Like it feels like something I can never do. Does that make any sense? Is be that free about that stuff?
Mm-hmm. What about your relationship to NPCs?
I assume that because my family is A, large, and B, always on the move, that probably it's a neighbor that is the bit of stability. So I picked Mr. Lacapo at the pizza place because the pizza place always opens at the same time. It always closes at the same time. It has, they're very steady. And they are right next door to the garage, and it's probably the food that I have eaten the most.
Okay.
So
like you can always go in for a slice of pizza.
Exactly. And when
Lacapo.
Yeah, and when he has a crowd, like he'll send one of his people over to get some of the Diamante kids to fill in with the busing and that kind of stuff. And so I've always gone over there, and I help with the sweeping, just like that kind of stuff. It's like it's another person who owns a business, and my family owns a business, so it's just constant work, and we're just super used to it. And we help him out, and he helps us out.
Like an older pizza place. That normally he would have his kids working there, but maybe they've grown up and moved on.
Exactly.
And they don't want to be, tied down to this stupid pizza place in a small Ohio town.
Yep. Except it's the best pizza place.
And what about your relationship to an NPC?
Okay, so I was thinking that the one I kind of liked because is that there's a kid, Brian, who told me that his friend Peter, who works at the head shop, is about to do something bad. So I figure Brian's one of those people that I can read, and he is super nervous about something. And I, kind of asked him, and he didn't expect it. And so he blurted that out. And now it's like whenever he sees me, he puts his head down and tries to avoid me.
Okay. And so the head shop, of course, they sell the kind of the magazines that kids, under 18 aren't supposed to buy. And they sell stuff that really isn't drug paraphernalia, but kind of is drug paraphernalia and stuff like that. So it's a very questionable place to hang out. in town. The adults don't want any kids to be seen near there, that kind of thing.
Exactly.
So let me then put a more general question to the group. Which of you has like a pool? Which of your families has a pool? Any of you?
I sort of feel like Butch's might.
But do you mean like pool like a hole digged in the ground, or do you mean like this pool like being constructed in the yard?
Yeah, like a backyard swimming pool. Which of you would have a pool in your backyard?
I think we have it, but it's not like constructed this year.
Okay.
Because mom didn't want to make Rick even more sad that than he used to be. So we used to have it like constructed and to be used, but because Rick can't use it with his like hands this year, she told Dad to like deflate it, release the water.
Leave the cover on, not fill it. So
Yeah.
it's probably the cover is probably actually caught rainwater and is kind of sitting there, getting kind of swampy, because this is an area that is a little bit, the water table's kind of high. You're by a lake. It does get humid and wet and damp. Then can I suggest that maybe there is like a backyard kind of pool, like shed or something like that's back there,
Sure.
that kind of serves as a clubhouse for you guys,
Sure.
like a space you guys can meet and hang out. Okay. We're going to come back to that scene at the clubhouse in a bit. We're going to take a 5-minute break. When we come back, we're going to do a home scene where I'm going to ask you to talk about your daily lives, and then I'm going to pull you together and I'm going to put an inciting incident on the table. So everybody take 5.
Cool.
This game is super cool.
There's a lot of good stuff in it. I really like the simplicity of the playbooks and the choices and things they put out there.
Yeah, it was really neat to take this system, which I've seen very like crunchy breakdown mechanical focused in Coriolis, and see it in this implementation where most of the playbook, most of the class is these flavor questions that give you story hooks and make you think about like the personality.
Right. So this is Wayward, Ohio. Again, as I described, they are building a scientific device called the Loop. It is still in progress. It is going to be a giant, essentially below ground facility that is a like a particle accelerator. So there are a lot of construction going on in all kinds of different parts of town. Some sections of it have been built, and they've actually got people working there. It means that the town itself has kind of prepped for this influx of new people, but maybe they haven't come yet. So there's a lot of stores that have maybe opened, but are still kind of not doing particularly well. We have this lake that's intended to be the sort of cooling for it, which is why we have those towers that are out into it. There are different dig sites marked on the map for things that are being worked on. There is like there's obviously a community college here. There is a technical college called Crittendom. There are different research labs and things that have been built up. There's a mall to the north of the city. That's the big mall, Town and Country Mall, and like little different subdivisions that are named there. There's farmland outside, and you also have a number of different parks and wildlife areas around here. So it's also Ohio, mid Ohio, in summer, in like early August. So it is super humid. Like it is super, super humid. And because, as I mentioned before, the water table is so high, the ground is often wet. And depending on where you live, it may be that you're walking out into kind of marshy land in your lawn. So let's come in and let's zoom in on JJ. JJ, it is a couple of weeks to school starting. So all the back to school sales are on at the different local big stores, Kmart and Target and so on, and probably the discount stores are having notebook sales and things like that. But we're getting to these last days, hot, the last days of freedom you have before you have to go back to school. So let's get a scene. Let's get a shot of you at home. What will we see? Are we going to be midday? Are we going to be evening? Are we going to be morning as you get up? What do you want?
I like morning.
Okay.
I like the idea of like, he gets up, he goes through a normal sort of morning, getting clean, dressed, breakfast sort of thing, and then immediately heads right back up to his room, where he's got like a couple bookcases, and he's like got a list open of his catalog of books he's read this summer, and like his remaining stack that he's got to get through here in this time when he doesn't have to worry about homework or school or other things that stop him from reading more books. Got to get through these before the end of the summer.
Are you when you get up, and this, let's say it's a weekday, are either of your parents at home, or do they both work? What do you imagine?
I think they both work.
Okay.
I think
9 to 5 or shift jobs? What do they do?
I think mom's like shift jobs. Dad is 9 to 5, but
Okay.
mom picks up more more stuff during the summer because
Yes.
there's not as many like schedule responsibilities and things to keep up with, like kids at practice and school and whatever.
So what does she do? Is she a nurse? Does she work at one of the local toy company on one of the assembly lines? There's a toy company here that doesn't do like mainline toys. They do cheap knockoffs of like they do like instead of GI Joes, they do War Guy and things like that. Those kinds of toys. They don't do Transformers. They do Mighty Morphers, that kind of thing.
I like the nurse idea.
Okay.
Just because I like the idea of like her sometimes often being on a completely weird schedule,
Yeah.
like a reversed sort of night owl thing.
So you've got a book. You come downstairs, and surprisingly to you, you will see your mom there. She's at the like the kitchen. Do you imagine large, small?
Small.
Small. So at the little breakfast, dining table that you have there, since it's really just the three of you in the house, and it looks like maybe she just got off a shift and she's back, and she kind of bleary-eyed will focus. Oh, hey, what do you want for breakfast?
Hey, I thought you'd be in bed by now. I was just gonna get some cereal. Like, you don't need to worry about it. You just stay sitting.
Just cereal isn't enough. I mean, we should have something else. Maybe some toast.
Well, not enough. Look, it has nutritional facts on the back. It's 25% of what I need for my growing diet.
Yeah, but it's also look at those marshmallows that are in it. I'm not sure that's particularly healthy, and it's like she's trying to be, an attentive mother here, but kind of isn't sure about what to do. But
Well,
she'll go and
Here,
pour you.
I'll tell you what. Just you pick out some of the marshmallows, and you can have those as like dessert because you deserve it after a long day. And I'll just have a lesser amount, but still marshmallows, right? Marshmallows.
She goes into the fridge and she finds some orange juice. It's not orange juice. It's like 50-50, which is like, or Five Alive, which is sort of grapefruit juice and orange juice and stuff like that. And you've just brushed your teeth, but she puts this orange juice down for you to drink, like she expects that this is the healthy part of your breakfast.
It's all the worst citruses and like minty because of the toothpaste.
Oh yeah, and with the marshmallows as well. So you get that kind of almost horrible, burning liquid in your mouth at that point. She goes, there. That's good.
Yeah. Thank you. No, it's very healthy and well rounded, like they show in the commercials.
So, what are you doing today?
Oh my God, I have 2 more Heinleins that I have to finish before the end of the week because next week is Lasny, and then I don't even know how I'm going to fit in the rest of the authors before the end of the month. Well, it's going to happen. You just have to sit down and focus. That's what I say.
But you're going to get out and do something, right? Not just stay in the house all day.
Oh yeah, no, I'm definitely going to go outside and do outdoor activities, meaning reading under a tree.
Right. And probably that's true because this is a time when AC is a little more rare in people's houses. They don't have air conditioning as much, so there probably comes a point in the day when you have to get out of the house.
Monsters.
And so she will kind of sits there and she watches you for a while, like at first, like she's just kind of watching you eat, but then you realize she's kind of gotten in that daze from having been on like a 10-hour shift. And eventually she'll go in and I'm gonna think The Price is Right is on. I might watch that for a little bit and then go to bed. And she'll go in the TV room, turn on the fan, and turn on the television, turn on the cable box, and then watch this game show. And she's asleep within a few minutes. Does that seem like a fair scene?
Yeah, like it.
Gives us a taste. Let's come to our jock. Let's come to Butch. Butch, early on a weekday during the summer. Where do we see you?
Well, we can either have like a family breakfast, or I can be already like getting ready to go out. Because I'm not sure if you are training, if you're training baseball during the summer.
But so maybe a morning practice.
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay. So you get up. Do you imagine that you fix your own breakfast before you head out, or is your mom a stay-at-home mom, or your dad a stay-at-home dad?
Mm, I think my mom is like stay home.
Okay.
That is probably like working, maybe somewhere around this like loop stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because how else would he know programming? Is there others company that they do this stuff? I don't know.
Absolutely. No, that makes sense. They need people who know how to basic machine stuff, and working with that. Probably has a little home computer that you've got there, and he used to work with punch cards, 10 years ago, and now they actually program things into the machines. And what kind of breakfast does your mom fix for you?
I think it's like some fried bacon and eggs, because she knows that I spent a lot of time training and riding the bicycle, and maybe like half of this for Rick, for my brother as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I like get like maybe like 2 slices of fried bacon and like 3 eggs, and he does like half of this. Something like very heavy on calories. And
calories, protein, that kind of thing. She gives you the big sort of athlete's breakfast. Eventually, she'll go upstairs and take the rest of your brother, check and see if he's gotten up yet. So you'll go over to baseball practice. Do you think that there's is the baseball diamond like at a park, or do you think it's the baseball field that's attached to the school? What do you think?
I think it's attached to the school probably.
Okay.
Like I will have like this skate park somewhere outside, but probably like baseball field is probably attached to the school.
Okay. You go there. Do you think you're the most excited about practice, or the least, or somewhere in the middle?
I think today I'm like the least excited, because Dad brought yesterday the VHS for Star Trek Voyage Home that was that just exit the theaters like half a year ago, and now it was like the VHS release, and I'm like really into watching this with my best cool brother buddy.
Mm-hmm. That's a big thing, because VHS tapes for big name movies, they're like $50-$60. They're crazy expensive to buy those VHS tapes. You're excited. So who do you think is your rival on the baseball team?
I wonder how much do I actually know about the baseball. So do the guy who throws the ball also when they reverse also strikes the ball?
Yeah,
or
the pitcher also goes up and has a turn at bat.
Okay. Yeah. So I think the guy called Chad, he's I suppose maybe slightly older or bigger than me, maybe slightly older. So he's like the main pitcher. I'm just like the second pitcher, and there is the rivalry, because he probably like relies on a pure strength and speed of the throw, and I like to put a little bit more careful on the ball, because JJ, like, he showed me this like magazine with like how you should properly twist the ball, and I'm like trying this, and it's like strength versus the technique.
Yeah, and Chad, he's the primary pitcher. He throws the fastballs. You're doing the curveball and the fades and stuff like that. So he he kind of gives you a hard time while you're there. But Coach Bill will come up and check in on you and hey, how you doing there? You look a little distracted today.
Oh, no, coach, I'm perfectly fine. I'm not like thinking about the Star Wars tape in my backpack. No, I'm like completely fine. Just the weather is like very hot today.
And there is a moment though when you go up to bat when Chad is pitching, and when he throws the ball, does it actually hit you, or does it just come really close?
I think pitcher is not really shouldn't like throw the ball like at the striker head, but he like really like hits me in the head.
Okay.
No, head is serious. Yeah, probably like because they don't have the vest. The guy who catches the ball has this like big thick vest.
They usually have like a plastic helmet on.
Yeah. I think he just throws the ball like very close to me, so that it's like too close to actually hit it.
Yeah, where it comes past you, like right in the zone where it would be called a foul, and it like zips past your nose, like if that had hit you in the head, that you would be laid out on the ground. And he kind of looks up at you and he's like, "Oops."
Yeah, I'll probably like give him a shout. Oh, come on, Chad! You're not supposed to throw it. It was almost a foul.
Oh yeah. He'll go back to throwing it normally, but you can tell now that we're getting closer to actually playing games. Maybe he's pushing you a little harder. Does that seem fair?
Sure.
Okay. So let me cut from that little scene of your everyday life. Let's cut over to Lisa. What does your morning look like in the summer?
Well, let's see here. So I have this little tiny bedroom because I'm the only girl, right? And then my brothers that are still in the house have this other big room. It's the best room. It has a bunch of bunk beds and all their stuff and everything. So typically, no matter how early I get up, one of my brothers at least has gotten up earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And stuff is
one
already,
or two showers in the house.
Well, there's the main one, but there's another one down in the basement, so that if like things get too crushed on a school morning, someone can at least be doing that. But it's like literally, it's a shower head, and that's it.
Like
it's
a little plastic stand around it and a floor drain and
exactly. And it's not even like it's just and it's a floor drain. So that's the thing. It's like really gross. You just never want to use it. So and there's no mirror, and it's just awful. But anyway.
And it's right by the washer and dryer.
Exactly, absolutely, right by the washer and dryer. So, but I think that essentially she kind of comes out into a house that's already full swing into the day, because it's always full swing. But it's just so she comes down in the kitchen, and there's
Dad isn't there, and a couple of your brothers aren't there. You're like, it's a little bit less noisy than you would expect.
Oh.
And your mom's clearly been up for a while.
Okay. So I will go and I'll be like, okay, is it cereal day? And I'll sort of essentially look to see if there's the pot of oatmeal, because if there's that, I'll have that. I don't like it, but you don't mess with that. If mom's bothered to make it, you better have it. So with enough brown sugars. Okay.
By this point, it's gotten that sort of consistency of paste.
Yes.
Okay. Gotten thick. Had a chance to stand up. So you have to scoop it out and thin it out with milk or hot water to get it back to an edible consistency.
And that's it. I pour in the milk, and I pour in a ton of sugar, and I stir and stir and stir. And now it's cold, but hey, So yeah. And I'm like, what happened?
There was a big a wreck up on the 703, and like a couple of car pile up, and a truck jackknifed. So your dad and Tom and Randy took the trucks out this morning to tow things in, but I understand it was kind of a mess.
Anyone local?
I don't know yet. I mean, there are so many of those maglev transport trucks that are coming down that way, and these roads aren't made for those kind of transports. And some of them got some automated delivery trucks, and it could be a mess.
Yeah, they kind of keep piling into things, don't they?
Yeah, especially if somebody's driving their tractor on the road to move it between fields. And I mean, yeah. But yeah, so you don't worry about that. I may have you, if you have a chance, go and make sure your brothers and your dad get lunch today.
Okay. Do you need me to go repark some of the old wrecks so there's room for more?
No, I think Tommy went over to do that already.
Okay. That's like a big exciting thing that she gets to do. So
yeah, your mom doesn't like the idea of you driving the trucks around, or anything with involving that.
Okay.
But she will say the one thing is that that cat in the yard had kittens, so they're going to be moving stuff around. So if you would go over and maybe move them off to another corner of the yard.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'll do that.
Take gloves. Don't let them bite you.
Yeah, I'll take that old towel.
Okay.
The one with this. Okay. So go get the old shop towel that has, the sort of most horrific of stains on it.
Right.
But it's clean.
So how close do you think you live to the shop?
Well, I think that actually our house is right behind the shop.
Okay.
Does that make any sense?
So you just go out your backyard.
Yep.
Open the fence, go into the yard, and walk through there, and you can see your brothers are already moving things around and stuff.
Yep.
Do you like this cat, this yard cat, or is this one of those sort of feral, obnoxious cats?
It's a kitten of a cat that I loved. So I'm okay with it, and it's okay with me. But I don't love this cat.
Okay.
But I don't know what happened to the other one. So things happen at the garage.
Yeah.
So
where do you move this cat and its litter to?
There's an impounded car, like a car that had to be towed because it broke down and people haven't been able to afford to come back to get it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been 2 years. So I'll set it over there, like over by that. It's not like anyone's going to get rid of the car right away. Eventually it'll go to auction, but at this point it's just the tires are slowly rotting. And
yeah. The other thing you'll notice when you kind of are putting the cat by that car and so on, you notice that they crack the window just a little bit so that it doesn't build up too much heat in there or melt anything, because it can in a hot summer, sun being down on it. You will notice that there are some wasps flying around inside there.
Oh no. Okay, I'm going to have to tell my dad, but I'm not going to tell him today.
Okay.
So,
yeah, you kind of look and you can see maybe on the ceiling part of the cab of the car, maybe something's torn. You can see where they're just starting to build a wasp's nest in there.
Okay, I don't need to give them that bad news, because then we got to go and get the pesticide guy, who's a friend of the family. His shop's just down a few, but okay.
Okay. So that's some things that are on your table today.
Right.
Okay.
Wasps.
So I'd like to cut to the afternoon, to the three of you hanging out in that sort of like pool shed that's out back of Butch's place. What do we see when we come in? Tell me something, Butch, about this area. Is it pretty big? Like, could you park a car in it, or is it pretty small?
I think it's not for the car, although I think it's more. It's longer than the than it's wide.
Uh-huh.
So because my dad probably like stuffs here some more tools as well. So
he'd like to eventually buy like a riding lawnmower, so it's big enough for that, but he hasn't actually bought one, but it's got a lot of space. Okay.
Yeah, so I managed to like convince him that maybe we should put here like the old couch that we wanted to throw out, but we put it over here, and maybe then I put together. I'm not so good, so probably it's like barely standing, but it's like bookshelf stand where we can put some comic books, or maybe JJ can leave some book for me to read sometimes. But it's like kind of standing straight, but not very well done. So we have some couch and probably like some tools hanging from the ceiling and from the walls. But I imagine we secure them with a tape so that they don't fall on our heads.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. It's kind of humid. You probably got the doors open on it. Maybe there's a fan plugged in to circulate the air in here. I like that. And I like the idea that your dad was more than happy to have you pull the couch out here because it meant he didn't have to drive it down to the dump, or put it out or anything. JJ, what is something about this clubhouse that you dig? Like, what is the thing that you're like, this is what a clubhouse should be?
Well, I think for the outside, certainly, like part of why we chose it, I like the idea that Butch's house is like on the outside edge of the subdivision, so it backs up to like deep dark woods. I mean, it's like a half-mile deep stretch of woods or something, but it seems huge when you're a kid.
Yeah.
But I think there's some nice like overhanging ferny type trees that keep this shed and this part of the yard always in shade and a little bit cooler.
Okay.
But I think on the inside, Butch has hung up a couple of like band posters. I don't know who it would be, whoever Butch's favorite bands are, but it's got that like really cool older kid, like sophisticated vibe to it because we like adult music.
That sounds good. Got that, the tape that's the yellow Scotch tape kind of holding up the posters and things like that. You have to reapply the tape like every couple of days because it is so humid and wet.
But I think for JJ in particular, like it gives him some touchstones to like fake it with other kids, like being normal and I like the rock bands that you all like, sort of thing.
That makes sense. That makes sense to me. Lisa, what is it that you have done or brought or set up here that kind of puts your personal stamp on the clubhouse?
So one of the things is that Mr. Lacapo had one of those big metal ice chests that he kept outside of the shop for a long time that he didn't have any use for. So I actually got him to drop it off here, and we drug it back in there. So we had this big ice chest, and whenever I come over, I always drive my back by Mr. Lacapo's, and I pull the ice. I go to his ice machine, and I get a bunch of ice, and I get popsicles and soda, and I put that all in my basket, and I bring it in, and we put it in the chest, and then we have this stuff back there.
Okay, and it stays pretty cold out here. It is nice, and the three of you are kind of sitting around. It is mid-afternoon. Butch, your parents are out. Your brother has headed out. You're not sure where he's at. So it's just the three of you as you're hanging around, reading comic books, looking at books, just hanging out. And as you three are sitting there, you will hear this from the backyard.
I
What do you do?
suppose. I suppose we're just like surprised by this.
Yeah.
Like, have you guys also heard this thing?
Yeah, I certainly stand up, looking around.
Okay.
And I think Tiny starts barking and like mixture between tail wagging and looking back and forth at me. Like, is this scary? Is this fun? What's happening?
Absolutely. You definitely heard this loud sound from the backyard outside of the shed. And the dog is agitated.
I'll go and see what it is.
Yep.
Okay.
Don't want anything from this creepy woods to get through the fence. So
You will walk out, kind of come around the shed, and you will see that the pool covering has like gotten yanked down, and part of it has gotten like torn off, whatever hooks are on it, and it's all kind of bundled up, half hanging down on part of it, and then the rest of the pool cover, is there. And of course, the bottom of the pool, it collects rainwater and stuff like that, so it's about that like foot worth of sludgy leaves and things like that, and this thing. But the thing that strikes you as you're kind of looking down at this is that that lump of the folded up pool cover that's there in the swamp, that it's like moving. What do you want to do?
the cover is moving, or something which is under the cover is moving?
Look careful. It looks like there's something's in the wrapped up part of that cover there that hit the bottom of the pool.
Okay, so is it like drowning? Is it under this like 1 feet of water or not yet?
It looks like it's kind of half submerged, half up. If it's something, it might be drowning.
Yeah, I think Butch is man of action rather than man of thinking. So he would shout, "Hey guys, come out! Something got into the pool!" And he would like quickly like jump, get off his like shoes, and then like go over jump into the pool and try to like unwrap it, whatever is there.
Sure.
Because I don't know, maybe it's some puppy or a cat.
Yes.
Let's have you roll move.
Oh yeah, that's my thing. So, move. Oh, apparently it's not my thing.
So, are you re-rolling with any way, or are you good to go with it?
Yeah, let's go with it. We need some trouble to start with.
So I think when you get the bottom of that, you are shocked at how slick it is. And your feet go out from under you, and you are kind of like in this mucky, awful leaf water, and like your foot kind of gets caught where some of the lines are for the thing. So you're actually stuck here, kind of flailing around in this water muck. It's awful. It's not cold. It's that kind of warm, like fleshy warm, because it's been heated under the cover here. It's awful. Lisa, what do you do?
Well, of course, I had run to get to the other part of the cover to like sort of pull that back if I could.
Okay.
So then I see him fall in, and I'm like, oh no. And I think I'm going to try to get over there to give him a hand, not get in, but to like reach over to him, if that makes any sense. I want to stay away from that water because I don't want to get wet.
Okay.
Does that make any sense?
So do you think that's move for kind of athletics, or do you think that's force for actually trying to get a hold of him and help pull him up?
Probably move.
Okay.
So
get over there, reach your hand out, flailing in the oh god, this is horrible. It's
horrible. I think I'm starting to do the shrieky scream thing, that you do when you're just horrified.
Lisa, be careful not to fall in. It's like
3
Really nice to
successes. 3 successes.
Holy cow! So Lisa, what does that look like, and how do you make it look easy?
I think what it is he's caught in the lines, and she runs over there to him, and she sort of catches his shoulder. But when she does, she sees like of the line that's there, like why he's gotten caught in it, and so she just picks the bungee cord or whatever it is up so that it's not like around his ankle anymore. So essentially,
So it's more of a panic flailing than an actual caught kind of
yeah,
thing.
exactly.
Okay. So you'll be able to get Butch up on his feet. So while this is going on, what is JJ doing?
So I think like as they ran off, I was trying to get Tiny calm down, like catch her collar, and be like, "Hey, no, it's fine." And as soon as Butch like falls in and gives a yell, she just like breaks away and starts running in circles around the pool and sort of barking and jumping to try and see up over the edge of what's happening in there. And she definitely gets in the way while Lisa's trying to help him out. So I'm just there like around the corner, sort of wrestling with the dog, who is about as big as me, and trying to get her under control.
You will get her under control because she's up there by that, and then she stops barking. And she like kind of stops, and she actually kind of backs away from the pool and kind of haunches down.
That's not while she's helping Butch get out there and get on his feet, like I give sort of a peek over the edge of the pool and like, look in. Did you smell something? What's going on?
So we've still got the pool cover. It's been pulled back. So I imagine that right now, Butch is on his feet in this maybe more shallow end of the pool. Elisa has kind of stayed up on the edge, not to get down in the muck. This pool cover is down, sort of partially hanging up from the deep end, and then there's this wrapped up part that is pulled, and it is still moving, and it's kind of moving slowly, like undulating, like there's something in there. It's not, now that you've had a chance to kind of watch for a bit, it's not like the throes of something drowning, but it's definitely something shifting and moving inside that pool cover.
I'm definitely not like tall enough, long enough arms to reach it. So I think I like turn and dash real quick back into the pool shed and come out with like what you'd use to like skim the surface of the pool.
Okay.
And use the back end of the handle to try and like catch the pool cover and get a part of it where we can pull it out.
Okay, I think this is actually going to be force, because more than anything, it's a strength thing to angle it and get that moved.
All right. Well, that's just going to be straight body.
Yes.
That's 0 successes.
So you kind of go to jam that in and kind of get that set to do that, and it slips, and now you're like a triangle. Like you have that pool thing where you've got it balanced down, but you've leaned out over the pool edge, like it's kind of giving there, and you're kind of precariously hanging. You're going to fall potentially the 10 feet onto that pool thing and the muck and the concrete below. What do you do, Butch?
Yeah, so I think I completely forget your names. JJ, yeah. Be careful. I'm like slowly, because now I know it's like very slippery here. Slowly moving toward JJ to like help him to like move him over the edge so that he will not fall. And then I can take this tool and actually use it to fish whatever is there wrapped in the pool cover.
Okay.
No, it's cool. I got it. Whoa, I don't got it. Help.
Roll
JJ,
with.
Don't panic.
Roll with force.
Cool. Whoa. I'm leaning to my strong sides.
Yeah.
So let's see.
2 successes. So you absolutely catch this and can push JJ back up so he's not going to fall, and you keep your balance here, no problem. And you get that set. And as you do that, the pool cover, you kind of maybe push it a little bit, try and see what's going on. You will see come out from that wrapped up portion this really large bullfrog. It's about
What's a bullfrog?
it's a big frog. They normally get like maybe 6 inches long, but this is bigger than that. It's just a big gray-green frog, and it clambers out a little oddly from underneath that and kind of looks at you. What's your reaction, Lisa? You're muted.
I think she's like, oh my God, it's so big. And I'm like, we got to get, and I think she runs back to get something that you could put it in, like something big enough.
Okay.
So let's see here.
What would you have around in the backyard or in the shed that you could put a giant bullfrog in?
I think definitely some case can be in the shed.
An old steamer
crate.
trunk? How about an old steamer trunk?
Okay.
Okay. So
Yeah, we use it as like a bench or something.
yeah.
You go grab that, yank that out, bring that out to here, and you can drag it over to the edge of the pool. You'll notice that your golden retriever friend has backed up a couple more feet and has remained quiet when this is on. You drag the trunk over. So you've been balanced there, JJ. You have been righted. You've got this pool net. Do you want to try and catch it?
Oh yeah, yeah, totally. I mean, how hard could that be? I just flip the pool net around so that I'm using the net end. It's probably going to be a tight squeeze, but it's a frog. It's not like going to do anything crazy.
Okay. Why don't you roll move?
Is there some kind of like do something together in this game?
I believe. Let me check on the assist rules because it's been a while. I apologize. I should have checked this beforehand.
I haven't seen anything in player reference.
Yeah, I know that the command skill is used to give orders, but let me look really quick about the team thing.
Yeah, because I totally imagine I will work I could work like a bait rather than like ordering JJ to do something. I was thinking more like cooperate.
Okay. One kid may help another to help you describe what you do, and then your friend gets an extra die.
Oh.
So tell me how you're helping them. How you're helping JJ.
Yeah, so I see JJ in like gets ready to like put the net on it, and I just say, whoa, easy JJ. I will like focus this on me. Let's play cool. It's rather big, and I will just like move around because I was like under him. I like moved him back so that he doesn't fall. So I will just like move around like on the edge of a circle so that like hands open toward the frog, just like trying to like keep it focused on me so that he has like an easier catch. Although this puts me totally in total danger. So
sure. Let's have you roll that move with an extra die.
Okay. My move is 0, so I think I'll just temporarily raise my body by 1 and roll that because there's not like a custom add.
No.
Okay. Oh, I have luck points.
Okay.
Butch is watching at this point, and it was one thing when he got tangled up and then I got off balance, but now he's moving all confident and I'm still moving like an idiot. So
Yeah.
I just re-roll all 3 of those for a luck point, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
One
1.
success. So yeah, this thing is turning, and it's definitely focused, like weirdly focused on Butch, and keeps attention. And then you will put the net around it, and you'll kind of yank it and bring it up, and it is wrapped and caught. The net's kind of twisted, because those pool nets are pretty big for skimming. So it's caught and twisted in there, and it just kind of stares at you balefully as you bring it up.
Ha! You can't get away from me, mutant frog.
And you can bring it up, and you can clamber up out of the pool then, Butch.
Yeah. I would like clamber out and give me a moment, guys. I need to like change the clothes because they are totally wet and greasy with this pool stuff. So I'll be back in a second, and I will just like run back to my room, like dump the clothes into the like washing box and put on something fresh and come back.
Okay. Do you think you're careful when you run through the house, or are you leaving kind of a mess?
I don't think I'm careful. Like, I'm curious. Me and my friends have something weird. Nobody's home. No need to be careful. So yeah, just like
that's exactly what a kid would do. That is the perfect thing. You'll regret it later, but oh yeah, doesn't matter. Right now, that's the perfect thing. So you go and change. So right now, Lisa, Butch runs in to do this. JJ has this enormous bullfrog in this netting.
I know, and it's like freaking me out, but I'm like, hold on. And I go back and I get like a plastic tarp from the shed, and I put it in the steamer trunk, and then I go get the hose and I put some water in there.
Okay.
I'm like, hold on, just a little bit more.
Swinging back and forth.
Are you sure you don't want to add some ferns?
Oh,
maybe a fly or two? No, don't go. No, stop it. Just hold the trunk.
Okay, and then I get back behind with the trunk thing.
Okay.
So I'm ready to slam the lid shut when he dumps it in there.
All right. So you're gonna dump that in there then? Are you, JJ?
Yep. Okay. Well, yep.
All right. Then you will kind of dump. But here's the thing: it is wrapped up in this netting. So to dump it out, someone's going to have to kind of untangle that and push it out of the net.
No, I'll do it.
Okay.
I would, but I'm all the way at the other end of this long pole.
Exactly. I can tell how this is going. Okay, I will do this thing.
I actually need you to roll move.
Move? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I got a success.
So you get a hold of this thing, and you know how frogs have that weird feeling to them.
Yeah, they're kind of slimy a little, and
this thing is really warm, like freakishly warm. And you will pull it out, and you kind of get it sort of thing. And it actually, you haven't seen this before because you're kids, you probably played with frogs, toads, like that. It actually goes to try and bite you.
What? And I'm like, I fling it into the trunk and slam the
do that thing where it bounces off the side and slam the trunk down.
Yes. I'm like, it tried to bite me.
What? Toads can't bite frogs.
It could bite. It had a big mouth, and it tried to bite me. It lunged at me.
Well, I mean, it could gum you.
I assume by this point, Butch has come back out, changed.
Yeah. What did I miss? Anything?
Oh,
it's a huge biting frog.
And I think you're coming out, and you're like clean clothes, and JJ is like slimy and mucky from the knees down, and I think Lisa is probably like arms covered in muck from the frog.
And that trunk is now.
Oh my god. What should we do with it?
I don't know. It's weird. It was all warm and it tried to bite me. And also there's muck all over my arms. And I take the hose and I'm like cleaning that off because it's disgusting.
Are you okay? Nothing happened to you, Lisa?
No, it didn't bite me, but it tried. And it's like, is it really like knocking the chest around?
Yeah. Like it was a big bullfrog.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't be. This is a steamer trunk, so this is a bigger, heavier case.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and it's making the case jump.
Man, I'm like, this is not how frogs are. What's going on?
I don't know. You guys are the wise guys.
You turn around and look at JJ. What's going on?
I look, if it were really an alien frog, I might be able to tell you something. But normal frogs, I mean, they're just they live in water and they're sort of slimy and they hop.
So is this a normal frog, JJ?
Well, I mean, no, that's a pretty big trunk and it's still moving.
Should we welcome this?
And then it stops.
Should we welcome this on the earth? Like, welcome, live long and prosper?
Well,
no.
I mean, it never hurts to try, but did you hurt it when you threw it in?
No, I didn't hurt it. It's faking. It's playing possum. She looks at it. She points at the thing. That is an evil frog.
Hey, you guys, did you see where Tiny went?
Nope.
We'll look around.
Tiny's back in the shed. Tiny's gone back there and is hiding.
Really? We're Tiny.
So, like, should we call the police or the firefighter department to like take this thing and release it, or like some? I don't know if at this time there were some like this people who help animals. I'm not
There
sure.
is. It's called the Humane Society.
Yeah, should we call the Humane Society like?
I mean,
Okay.
they mostly deal with like cats and dogs. But maybe they have an amphibian division.
I don't know. I can call and ask. Like, no idea. Like, what would a kid do with a giant frog in them?
It's not just a giant frog. It's a giant biting frog. And it's warm.
Lisa, what do you
Frogs
think?
aren't supposed to be warm.
Lisa, what do you think we should do with it? Do you want to like do some science project for the science class on it, or should we like keep it?
Well, I mean, we don't need to do like experiments on it. Like that's a little much, but well, I mean, maybe if we could just get like a look at it, like a clean look at it, still in the box, I could draw some of its patterns, and we could like go to the library and look it up.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah, so yeah, I don't know. I will like give me the poll just in case it tries to like jump out, and you guys can like take some drawings, and I will like keep it in the box.
Yeah, it seems calm now.
I want to put like, it's like we need a hole that we can look through that it can't get through. Because that thing is going to bite someone.
You have to cut a hole in a steamer trunk. It's not your steamer trunk.
Okay. Do we have like a board that has a hole in it? Can we like find something like that? Like the top of a cornhole thing.
By the way, that's the most obscure Indiana reference you could do.
Okay.
If you want to
So,
that's basically a game board that you throw beanbags into.
So Yes, and they used to be around. It's the Hoosier equivalent of jarts in some ways. Yeah.
So you
Will
want
we
to
have
try
something
and,
like that?
get somebody to block this thing?
Yeah,
And-
so that it can't get out, but that we could look at it.
Okay. So I think that I'm going to have you roll Tinker.
All right. All right. We're all tinkerers here, so we can figure this out.
Yeah. I can give you a hand. Like, there's a couple tools probably around in the shed. We can figure out something real quick.
Okay.
So let's have you roll Tinker with an extra die. By the way, I do want to mention if between sessions you're like, oh, maybe I didn't do my skill distribution right, or maybe we're overlapping a little, I'm going to let you guys feel free to change some things around. So just know that that's on the table as an option.
I like to think that as a group, we all like to tinker to some extent. That's sort of our thing. Okay, so I'm rolling. I got 0 successes. I'll use my luck because I do not want to mess this up. And 0 successes again. Oh my gosh.
Delicious.
Oh my gosh.
So
It's on me.
you get this board, get ready in that kid way of planning things out, getting it set, right? Of getting this. You've got and you're back behind Butch. You've got still got the net, right?
Yeah.
Perfect plan. Nothing could go wrong.
Nothing can go wrong. We thought of all
set.
the eventualities.
And when you start to open that steamer trunk, it's the that sound that throws you off and kind of jump back. And this toad flies out of the trunk. And you can see there's some kind of like vibrating wing things on it. And it flies up above you, hovers, and then shoots off towards the woods.
So, I'm a 13-year-old girl. I have shrieking powers.
Okay.
And I am making full use of those.
Okay. So you will let out an enormous shriek as this thing takes off and it just vanishes. You mean, and your shrieks are carrying throughout the neighborhood. I
am very proud that I am not scared of anything, even though I'm the youngest one. But like, I think Tiny is really freaking out about this, so I'm going to like hug and like pet on her and not hide in her fur, comfort her, because she's the one that's scared right now.
Right. And what's Butch's reaction to this?
I think Butch is like he's like stoned for a couple of moments, and then Lisa tries to like cry, so he like awkwardly like tries to hug her and just like, oh yeah, relax, it's gone, it's not here, and it's like you are with Tiny, and I'm like kind of like awkwardly hugging Lisa not to get too close because that's not the thing. So yeah, relax. We didn't lose. It's like, something that the coach says to cheer up the other guys. Like, yeah, cheer up. We didn't lose. Nobody got hurt. So it's gone now.
Yeah, I think she's going, it's out there.
And you will hear like somebody coming around the side of the house, and you will see the postman, the mail delivery guy, in his mail delivery shorts, and his big bag and his short sleeve blue shirt, and he's like, "Oh, hey there, what's going on there then? Here with all the shrieking and stuff then." And
she's sort of like, it's out there, and I don't think she gets any more articulate than that at that point. So she's sort of pointing at the forest, and clearly like something freaked the heck out of her.
Everything okay, young Mr. Starr?
Yeah. I would like leave Lisa and walk toward him. I might be walking like a little bit of stiff because maybe my joints like are still my muscles are all tense, so I'm like
Yeah.
walking a bit stiff. I'm like, yes, everything okay. It's this creepy forest. We had some big buzz were around here, and they freaked us out. But yes, everything is perfectly fine. Yeah, just please give me the mail.
Yep. Here you go. I heard someone screaming blue murder, and just
Giant
wanted to
frog
check.
had wings.
What's that then? You say?
It were
Giant-
big flies.
Oh yeah, they get out there. They get the things. Sometimes you get the hornets there under the eaves troughs.
Lisa said it had teeth.
It tried to
Ooh.
bite me. He's still pointing out to the forest.
And he nods like, okay, you kids with your TV show things and so on, and too many pixie sticks, and too much candy. And he'll nod, and you all have a good day then.
Thank you for checking up on us. Yes, thank you for the mail. I'll just probably just leave it just next to the garden entrance.
Okay.
On the floor.
And you guys kind of catch your breath. Your throat is a little raw from screaming. They're shrieking, and probably at this point, Tiny's like, maybe you've been holding Tiny a little too long.
Yeah, I think she squirms away, and now that the danger is gone, I think she's the bravest, most investigative dog ever, and is around sniffing everything. She's gonna get to the bottom of this.
Sniffing into the trunk, checking things out, kind of following, not going towards the woods though.
Oh, no. I mean, it's there's nothing fruitful to be found there.
Right. So what do you three want to do?
I know what I want to do. And I say, I want to watch that Star Trek movie. Because that means we can go downstairs in the TV room and close the doors.
Yeah. Let's watch it again. It was very good, so let's watch it again. You guys go have a head start. I need to carry the trunk back inside and wash it with the.
No, I'll help.
I'll help too.
We'll pull the tarp out carefully so we don't get the water on the trunk or in the trunk.
I think I don't know what I'd do with this, but I think in a sort of fit of trying to be clever and scientific, I'm taking some samples of some of the muck that's there in the tarp. Maybe putting it in a Ziploc bag.
What color is the odd liquid that's sort of sitting on the surface of the water in the bottom of that trunk?
I think it's this bright, vibrant orange.
Okay, yeah. Looks like safety cone orange, or safety vest orange.
It is so weird.
So yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe we could do some tests on it, he says, not really having any idea what sort of tests to do on it.
But school up isn't opening for another couple of days or weeks, so
Have to find somebody. But yeah, you can get a little sample thing, get a little bottle or something with some of this orange liquid in it. You can rinse.
I think it's like an old jar that just holds loose nails, sort of thing. So just dump all the nails into the screw jar and then take that jar to collect.
Oh, I know. There's this girl who lives nearby. Anna. She has she told me some time ago that she has a kids chemist home lab. Maybe I can borrow this from her.
I like that.
Yeah, those old chemistry sets. Those things are awesome.
So that sounds like a contact?
Yeah, I have the skill, so I could very well use it.
Yeah, let's have you roll contact. What is that? Look at that.
I think I will give it a reroll since the luck will refresh. So
absolutely,
because I really want us to do some study. I'm very bad at studying this, but maybe yeah.
Okay, you got a success. So Anna's a couple years older than you guys. and you call her up, and she's like, "Oh, that chemistry lab set."
Yeah. Can I borrow this for a couple of days? I'm not sure if you are still using this.
Yeah, no, I tried it for a while, but it was, it wasn't that cool. So yeah, I think it's in the basement. Hang on. And she says, yeah, come over. I'll grab it for you.
Cool. I'll be there in like 10 minutes.
Okay. And when she brings it out, it's a big box thing. It's got this box that you open up, and it has all these different little chemical things in it, and it's got all these tools, and it's got the cheapest, shittiest microscope you could possibly have. And but it passes for that. It has some electronic components for it because the tech is a little bit higher. So there is like a little thing to do. And you'll bring this back. Where do you set up the chemistry lab? Do you set it up inside, or do you set up in
our hideout?
Clubhouse.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it has to be in the clubhouse. This is like our little secret right now.
Nice.
So I think that this is going to be, let me see here, technical objects. I think this is going to be investigate.
Yeah, and there you guys get to ask these cool questions.
Yeah. Who is going to investigate? Who is taking the lead on that?
I'll read the book.
Okay.
And I'll go, okay, so we can test its pH. So essentially, I'll start running through the questions that you use to identify what mineral it is.
Okay.
So.
And I assume the rest are helping.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm this is like so above my level. I'm just like, I provided the lab, so I don't know, maybe we can say that the lab allows us to do it, and maybe it acts like an extra die. But
I'll tell you what, I'll give you that. That seems cool. So we'll have JJ helping, and then you provided a tool.
Well,
Yeah.
I think we're all collaborators here, and it's sort of hard to say whether it's JJ in the lead or Lisa in the lead. I don't think there's a clear leader here.
Right.
Okay, so I'm adding 2 to my roll.
Adding 2 to your roll.
I'm going to do that.
And Butch is like really standing and really feeling like that, like they are nerds and I'm not, because I have no idea how to even use this chemistry set. It's
We make it look easy. I got 2 successes.
2 successes.
Nice.
So you get 2 questions, standard for success, and then you get to ask a third one. If you look at the investigate skill list there.
Okay.
I gave you a copy of this sheet that has.
Oh, good. Thank goodness.
Lisa, do you have a condition? Because it seems that you marked a condition.
Because I failed, so I took a condition. Was I not supposed to?
You don't have to take a condition.
Oh, okay. Well, I would have had an extra die, so I might have done even better. I figured after I messed up my tinker roll. Then, okay, that's cool. So my investigate questions. I'm looking. Oh, man.
Middle of the second column.
I see it. Okay. What does it mean?
Okay. So this fluid here isn't reacting like an organic thing. Like it's definitely some kind of machine or artificial fluid.
Okay.
So the frog was probably organic, but it definitely had some mechanical bits to it. What's your second question?
Let's see here. I think it goes, let's see. What threats can I perceive here?
That fluid is toxic.
Oh.
Like it's kind of unpleasant.
All right.
Like it shows up with, on like you do a little alkali tests and things like that. And it's definitely a toxic substance.
Oh God, it's all in that pool of theirs too. Oh, or is it not? And it's just in that trunk. We already dumped it on the lawn, didn't we?
Yeah. So when you go back out, you'll probably see that there are some brown spots in the grass on the
Okay.
lawn where that substance has kind of leaked out. You won't find any at the bottom of the pool.
Oh, good.
This was maybe like a defensive reaction thing.
Oh, that it did when it was in the box.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you get 2 standard questions, and then because you got an extra success, you can ask a 3rd question.
All right. How can, let's see here. I think the thing is, so what has happened here? What in our worldview could explain this thing, or what does this suggest? What kind of technology? I mean, there's so many things going on around here.
I will tell you. I mean, you know about robots and things like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Because there's a thing, but and stuff. It looks to you like someone has done a horrible experiment on a frog and put some mechanical bits on it, and not just like, oh, I'm a horrible person and I made a cyber frog, but like made a frog that actually is kind of dangerous. Like this is sort of weaponized.
Ow. Okay. Does
that seem like a fair answer?
It's a horrible answer.
There you go.
Okay. So someone made a death frog. How can we track it back, though?
Yeah. So I think actually this sort of discovery of the death frog kind of is the starting point for our mystery. We're about a couple minutes early, but I think this is a good place to break here, that we can start out with this in home scenes in the follow-up next time. There are some experience questions. So let me go to that. 62. I haven't read it long term, so I need to go and check what those are. Experience. Read more about Experience Chapter 6. Then why would your index send me to there? God, I hate bad indexing. Okay. All right. Solving phase 3 showdown aftermath. Change. Okay. Did you participate in the session?
I did.
Me
so
too.
Everybody gets an XP for that. Did you have anything regarding that we saw with your trouble regarding your problem or your relationships?
Sort of had relationship stuff come up with Butch there, I think.
Okay, I'll give you a point for that. Anybody else?
Let's see here. Well, I was super afraid of water the whole time because, of course, if I got
right, I'll give you a point for that.
So I'm trying to.
Did you struggle with, or kind of interact with your pride? No.
I did. I had the nothing scares me thing there.
Okay, that seems good. What about you, Sherry?
I know more about people than they think.
Okay.
I don't think so. I didn't do anything too creepy spy yet.
Right. Oh, and I think Pavel, because these are interpreted pretty broadly, I think the sort of the baseball, we kind of established a rival there, and we put a relationship thing on the table for that. So I'm going to give you a point for playing that out.
Nice.
Okay.
Did you put yourself at risk for the other kids? I think
yes.
All of you earned a point for that.
Okay.
Yay.
And then, have you learned something new?
Ooh.
Of course.
Yes. So that will get
Toxic Mecha Frog.
Yes.
you'll get that.
Ooh, that's a
Um,
better name than Death Frog.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Death Frog's pretty good.
It
It
costs
would look better on a
five
T-shirt.
5 XP to raise a skill or to buy a new skill. And so that's the deal with that.
Are the caps taken off the skills now?
Yes.
Cool.
I say we all buy Tinker up to max, and then
You just build things to solve your problems.
make our own Mecha Frog.
So next time we'll start out with this. We may start again with a home scene or interaction scenes, after a little bit of time has passed. And then we'll figure out about how you go about investigating the mysteries. And we'll try and we'll stop off and do some assessment roses and thorns at the end of next session. Once we've had a chance to play, 2 full sessions, and do that. Does that seem cool with everybody?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then with that in mind and the loop on in progress, I am going to stop the broadcast.